Well, it's a new year, and you know what that means. It's once again time for us to look back at the best games of 2012 and start my official Game of the Year awards. This year I'll be looking at my top 10 favorite personal picks from all of the games that I play. And keep in mind, I make an honest effort to try and play every major release. So I really feel that I have a unique perspective when it comes to a Game of the Year award selection that other reviewers may not have. This year has seen a large plethora and variety of games. And I'll be honest, I really think that the year did come out with a slower start, with a lot of AAA titles that we thought would be better than they actually ended up being, maybe a snafu here or there, but once the hardcore gaming season kicked off in September, we saw good release after good release, which really kicked up my selections for Game of the Year. One important note, most if not all of the games that I'll be talking about in this countdown, I've actually done full-length reviews in my Hateful Truth video game review series. So if you see anything here that you like and you want to actually learn more about the game, definitely be sure to check out my Hateful Truth review. And also, as I've done in previous years with my Game of the Year awards, I've selected 8 games that didn't necessarily make my top 10 picks, but I really feel were outstanding games that need to be mentioned and need to be spoken of when it comes to a Best Games of the Year countdown. A lot of the time, some of these games slip through the cracks, some of them came out a little bit earlier on in the year, and a lot of people probably have forgotten about them, so we're also going to be doing some honorable mentions during the countdown. So let's get started. It's Darkside Phil's Game of the Year Awards for 2012, the top 10 best games of the year. Honorable mention, Diablo III. After waiting the better part of a decade, gamers who were full of anticipation finally saw the release of Diablo III in 2012. And just like with many other Blizzard games, they took their time with the development of the game, and it shows. The same kind of addictive looting gameplay, point-to-click action, and cooperative fun is very greatly present in Diablo III. However, much to everyone's surprise, a lot of people stopped playing the game relatively quickly, which kind of was baffling because Diablo 2 was such a fan favorite. There were some people that were still playing it to this day. It was a highly addictive game. And there's a few things that I think really happened here. Number one, Blizzard making this choice that you have to always have an online connection to play Diablo 3, which was a huge snafu. On launch day, some people couldn't even play the game in single player because the servers were getting slammed by so many people trying to play that. So I think a lot of people unfortunately got turned off by this design choice by Blizzard. But the other real reason, I think, is because the game pretty much resembles Diablo 2. Now, I don't mean graphically. The graphics are obviously beautiful in a modern day game, but the gameplay, I really think Blizzard stuck to a kind of if it ain't broke, don't fix it attitude, and it really does play a lot like Diablo 2, except for a couple different changes when it comes to leveling up your character and character customizations. And I really think that in this day and age, a decade after the release of the last installment, maybe it's just too dated. Maybe it's something that just doesn't catch on as much as it used to. People have found other kinds of games that they like more than this kind of addictive gameplay. Diablo 3 is a great game. I enjoyed playing a full co-op playthrough with some of my fans. I had a blast playing it. I can't fault the game. I can't say it's not as good as previous ones, but I just don't know in this day and age if it really stands up to some of the other releases that are out. So Diablo 3, a great game, definitely deserved an honorable mention. But now on to our official countdown with number 10, The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, I think putting this game into my top 10 favorite games of the year may surprise a lot of people and may actually kind of have some people scratching their heads saying, a movie tie-in game? Really? One of the best games of the year? And my answer, quite frankly, is yeah. I really feel that Amazing Spider-Man was a great game. It brought Spider-Man out of some of the foibles of the past games that he's had over the past couple of years and brought him back into an open world atmosphere where he belongs. There is just an amazingly fun feeling being able to free roam and swing throughout New York City as Spider-Man. This is the essence of what the character is. The fact that the game is actually a pseudo-sequel to the movie tie-in that happened during this previous summer is just icing on the cake. Everything in the game is great. Responsive controls, fun combat, and sure, yes, some of the missions and things can be a little bit repetitive, but for the most part, it's a lengthy game. It's got an original story directly continuing from the movie. Everything about the game is great, and I really feel that a lot of people skipped the game thinking, oh boy, it's just going to be another generic movie tie-in, and that's a shame, because I really think that Amazing Spider-Man was one of the best games this year, and definitely deserves a spot on my top 10 picks. Coming up next in my Game of the Year award picks, another sleeper hit that you probably didn't play, but you may want to check out in the bargain bin.